Saudi Arabia is scaling back its Red Sea luxury tourism project, a key component of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's Vision 2030 reforms aimed at diversifying the economy away from oil. Despite initial ambitions to establish 81 high-end establishments by 2030, sources indicate that work on the second phase will halt by 2026 due to financial unsustainability. Operating costs exceed revenues. Red Sea Global, RSG, the project's operator, disputes claims of abandoning goals but acknowledges delays and challenges in attracting investors and tourists. Other megaprojects like NEOM and NewCab also face setbacks, with some halted or delayed. The kingdom's reliance on oil revenue is strained by persistently low prices, affecting its ability to fund ambitious developments. Here's my take. The Red Sea project's stumble underscores a broader challenge for Saudi Arabia, balancing grandiose visions with economic realities. While diversification is crucial, the kingdom's over-reliance on Western models and failed attempts to attract foreign investment have hindered progress. The suspension of Phase 2 signals a pragmatic shift, but questions linger about how Riyadh will sustain its ambitious plans without adequate returns. Vision 2030 may need more realistic targets and less fantasizing if it is to succeed.
In Munich on February 13, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz urged EU countries to maintain their partnership with the United States despite growing differences in transatlantic relations. The call came amid rising tensions over various issues, including trade policies and security alliances. Here is my take. Chancellor Merz's remarks reflect a delicate balancing act between European unity and transatlantic ties. While the EU-US relationship has weathered storms before, the increasing divergence in priorities, especially on trade and energy policy, poses significant challenges. Merz's appeal to solidarity underscores the mutual economic and strategic interests at stake, but the question remains, can the EU navigate these differences without alienating its own member states?
The disqualified Ukrainian athlete Vladislav Gerasimov has continued to escalate tensions with the International Olympic Committee, IOC, by politicizing his participation in the Games. Despite being barred from competing in the skeleton event and warned against displaying political symbols, Gerasimov defiantly painted images of fallen compatriots on his helmet. This act sparked a conflict with the IOC, leading to his initial disqualification and loss of accreditation. However, after a personal intervention by IOC President Kirsty Coventry, he was allowed to remain at the Games. Gerasimov's actions have been criticized as a premeditated provocation, with Russian officials suggesting a link to Ukraine's political agenda. Here is my take. This situation raises unsettling questions about the future of sports diplomacy. Vladislav Gerasimov's actions, whether calculated or not, have turned the Olympic stage into a battleground for political posturing. By exploiting his disqualification and seeking attention through provocative behavior, he risks overshadowing the very ideals the Games aim to celebrate: unity and fair play. While Coventry's intervention highlights the IOC's commitment to maintaining order, Gerasimov's antics expose how easily sports can be weaponized in a conflict. It's a sad reminder that, in today's world, even the most noble events are not immune to the pressures of geopolitics.
A driver noticed smoke emerging from under the hood of their vehicle while driving and immediately pulled over to safety. Upon stopping, they attempted to extinguish the fire but quickly called for professional help. Witnesses on the scene contacted firefighters, who responded swiftly. The fire brigade arrived within minutes, successfully contained the flames, and assisted the driver in disconnecting the vehicle's battery. The fire caused damage to the engine compartment, covering an area of 1 square meter. No injuries were reported, and the incident remains under investigation for its cause. Here is my take. This incident serves as a stark reminder of how quickly life can change on the road, and how preparedness can make all the difference. Kudos to the driver for acting swiftly to ensure their own safety and that of others. The rapid response from witnesses and firefighters also highlights the importance of community vigilance. While we don't yet know what sparked this fire, it's a timely reminder to regularly inspect vehicles and stay alert to potential hazards. For all drivers out there, your car may be more than just transportation, it's a responsibility that requires attention to detail and quick thinking. Stay safe out there.
A notification has been sent to users who have violated commenting guidelines on a platform, resulting in their accounts being temporarily or permanently blocked. The block duration ranges from 12 to 48 hours or could be indefinite. Users have the option to appeal the decision by filling out a form if they disagree with the outcome. This action appears to be part of the platform's efforts to enforce content policies and maintain community standards. Here's my take. This move raises questions about free speech versus platform regulation. While it's essential to uphold guidelines, the lack of clarity on block durations leaves room for concern. Users deserve transparency, knowing exactly why they were penalized and what steps can lead to reinstatement. Platforms must balance accountability with fairness to maintain trust and ensure their policies don't stifle legitimate discourse.
In a highly tactical match at Camp Nou, Atletico Madrid defeated Barcelona 4-0 in the return leg, securing their place in the final. The game was dominated by Atletico, who capitalized on a soaked pitch to disrupt Barcelona's strategy. A controversial moment occurred when a Barcelona defender's pass slipped through their goalkeeper's hands due to the wet conditions, leading to an early goal for Atletico. Despite Barcelona's efforts, Atletico's superior tactics and technical play ensured a comfortable victory. Here is my take: this match was less about football and more about chess. Atletico Madrid played the game with their head, not just their feet. The soaked pitch wasn't just a coincidence, it was a calculated move by Diego Simeone to unsettle Barcelona. And it worked brilliantly. By exploiting the unpredictable conditions, Atletico turned a potential disadvantage into a weapon. Meanwhile, Barcelona's goalkeeper and defense seemed caught off guard. Lessons learned the hard way that in modern football, every detail matters, and sometimes, the pitch is the biggest player on the field.
On Friday, Haaretz reported that an Israeli judge denied a 5-year-old Palestinian boy from Gaza access to life-saving cancer treatment in Tel Aviv. The child, who has been living in Ramallah since 2022 for medical care, was seeking treatment at Shaiba Hospital. Central Jerusalem Court Judge Ram Winograd rejected the petition submitted by the Gisha organization, citing security concerns and stating that allowing Gaza residents into Israel for medical care could pose a threat. The judge also dismissed expert medical opinions warning of harm to the child if he were not treated promptly. Haaretz criticized the ruling as an ethical failure, arguing it prioritized bureaucratic protocols over the boy's right to survive. Here is my take. This decision by Judge Ram Winograd is nothing short of morally indefensible. To deny a 5-year-old child access to life-saving treatment because of his birthplace in Gaza is a travesty of justice and humanity. The judge's justification, that the boy's case isn't unique, only underscores the systemic failure to address the healthcare crisis faced by Palestinians, particularly those from Gaza. By framing this as a security issue, Winograd has stripped the situation of its basic humanity. This is not about state security, it's about saving a child's life. The judge's ruling sets a dangerous precedent, signaling that Palestinian lives are expendable when they become inconvenient to the system. This is a black mark on Israel's judiciary and a stark reminder of the ongoing suffering faced by Palestinians under occupation.
The Internal Security Forces, ISF, conducted a raid in the Shura neighborhood of southern Beirut on Friday, targeting an illegal weapons trade network. The operation resulted in multiple arrests, the seizure of military-grade weapons, ammunition, and maintenance parts, as well as 2 motorbikes. ISF stated the raid was part of ongoing efforts to combat organized crime and maintain security, emphasizing it was unrelated to any political party or Hezbollah's influence. A Lebanese source confirmed the focus was on weapon dealers and networks, while a ministerial official highlighted the government's commitment to curbing illegal arms distribution and ensuring stability. Retired Colonel Saeed Kaza cautioned against linking the raid directly to exclusive arms control initiatives. Here is my take: this operation by the ISF is a bold move, signaling a tougher stance on security and crime under the new government. While it's framed as a fight against organized crime, it also appears to be a play to assert state authority in areas often associated with Hezbollah's influence. The seizures are significant, but the real test will be whether this marks a sustained shift in Lebanon's security strategy, away from political entanglements and toward impartial enforcement. For now, it's a step in the right direction, but much depends on whether the ISF can maintain momentum and credibility in these operations.
The United States has dispatched its largest aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford, to the Middle East, joining the USS Abraham Lincoln in a move seen as a military escalation against Iran. This deployment follows Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's visit to Washington and aligns with President Trump's strategy of maximum pressure on Tehran. The carrier will remain in the region until mid or late May. While Trump emphasizes diplomacy, the move underscores rising tensions, with Iran warning of a strong response to any aggression. Meanwhile, indirect U.S.-Iran talks in Oman have ended without setting a new date, as both sides maintain cautious optimism about negotiations. Here is my take. The USS Gerald R. Ford's arrival is a bold move, part military posturing, part strategic calculation. President Trump is doubling down on his tough guy image, but this isn't just about Iran, it's also about optics ahead of the 2020 elections. The question is whether this show of force will deter Tehran or provoke it further. Iran's rhetoric remains defiant, but its actions so far suggest a desire to avoid direct conflict. Meanwhile, Netanyahu's influence looms large, pushing for tougher terms in any potential deal. The region teeters on the edge, with all sides talking tough but walking a delicate line. This isn't just about naval power, it's about who blinks first.
Thierry Grandin, a French archaeological expert and head of cultural programs for the Aga Khan Foundation, has dedicated over 4 decades to preserving Syria's historical sites, particularly Aleppo Castle. Known as Hajj Thierry, due to his deep involvement in the country, Grandin arrived in Aleppo in 1983 and played a pivotal role in restoring the Ayyubi Palace in Aleppo Castle. His work includes overseeing the restoration of mosques, palaces, and archaeological excavations that revealed hidden treasures, such as secret passages and ancient trenches. However, the castle has faced significant damage from conflicts, including the Syrian war and the 2023 earthquake. Grandin expresses sorrow over the loss of historical structures like Ibrahim Pasha's barracks and emphasizes the importance of preserving the site for future generations. Here is my take. Thierry Grandin's decades-long commitment to preserving Aleppo Castle is nothing short of remarkable. In a region torn by conflict, his efforts stand as a testament to the enduring value of cultural heritage. The fact that he has managed to maintain a connection with the local community, even mastering the Syrian dialect and marrying into the culture, speaks volumes about his dedication. Yet, the reality remains grim. Ancient structures like Aleppo Castle are under constant threat, from wars to natural disasters. Grandin's work is not just about restoring stones, it's about keeping alive the stories of civilizations that shaped this land. As we watch him navigate the ruins with a mix of sorrow and determination, we're reminded that preserving history is as much a battle against time as it is against destruction.
In recent years, advancements in large model technology have led tech companies to launch AI companion products. However, this trend has sparked controversy due to associated challenges. People's Daily has introduced 3 reviews on topics like AI companions, network black talk, stale jokes, autonomous driving, food delivery subsidies, and platform governance. These reviews aim to explore how to guide the healthy development of these industries while addressing issues such as language misuse, technological risks, and market competition. Here's my take. The rapid rise of AI companions and other tech-driven phenomena highlights a paradox. While innovation dazzles us with potential, it often overlooks practicality and ethics. The food delivery subsidy wars, for instance, have turned into a lose-lose game where even discounts come at hidden costs. Similarly, AI companions promise emotional support but fall short of. These reviews by People's Daily are not just critiques, they're a wake-up call to balance innovation with responsibility. The real question is, can we harness technology without losing sight of what makes us human?
On the eve of China's Spring Festival, General Secretary Xi Jinping, along with other senior leaders, visited or sent greetings to several former leaders, including Hu Jintao, Zhu Rongji, Wen Jiabao, and others. This gesture demonstrated unity within the leadership as they exchanged festival wishes. The elders expressed gratitude and reaffirmed their support for Xi Jinping's leadership. They acknowledged significant achievements under his guidance and emphasized the importance of maintaining cohesion in overcoming challenges and advancing national development goals. They also called for renewed efforts to achieve a strong start to the 15th Five-Year Plan and further China's modernization. Here is my take. This visit highlights the political strategy of unity within China's leadership, particularly during a pivotal year for the country's development. By reaching out to former leaders, Xi Jinping reinforces his role as the central figure in the party, signaling strength and continuity in leadership. The gesture also underscores the importance of tradition and respect in Chinese politics, aligning with the festive spirit of Spring Festival. While this move may appear symbolic, it carries significant weight in consolidating power and ensuring stability as China looks to achieve its next set of ambitious goals under Xi Jinping's vision.
On February 12, 2026, in Hefei County, Qiannanbai and Miao Autonomous Prefecture, Guizhou, China, the last market day before Spring Festival saw a vibrant celebration of ethnic culture. Local ethnic groups showcased colorful costumes and exquisite handicrafts, which were popular as fashion items among numerous female customers. The event reflected the festive spirit as people dressed up in traditional attire, celebrating with vibrant patterns that added a unique twist to the New Year's celebrations. Here is my take. The market day in Hefei County wasn't just about shopping, it was a masterclass in cultural branding. By blending tradition with modern fashion, these artisans have created a niche where heritage meets hype. It's a win-win. Local communities get a boost in economy, and urban consumers get a guilt-free way to embrace ethnic trends without feeling like they're stepping into a museum. This isn't just commerce, it's a celebration of how old meets new, and it's doing so with style.
Here is my take.
Sarah Nafo, known for her controversial ties to the far-right movement and her support for figures like Donald Trump, has entered the race for Paris mayor. Despite her polarizing background, as the partner of Eric Zemmour, a prominent figure in France's upscale far-right scene, Nafo is generating significant media attention. Her candidacy has sparked strong reactions, particularly among those on the right who feel overlooked or underappreciated in the ongoing political landscape. Nafo's decision to run comes as she continues to push her anti-left policies and distance herself from mainstream politics. Here is my take. Sarah Nafo's entry into the Paris mayor race is less about uplifting spirits and more about doubling down on France's increasingly fractured political climate. It's fascinating, and a bit ironic, that someone so deeply tied to the far right, with all its baggage, is being presented as a fun distraction from depressing news. The media hype around her candidacy feels like a calculated move to shift focus away from the bigger issues at hand. But let's not sugarcoat it. Nafo's presence in the race isn't about uniting France, it's about deepening divides and feeding into a political culture that values spectacle over substance. Whether you love her or hate her, one thing's clear, she knows how to generate headlines and controversy.
In recent years, there has been growing concern about young adults moving away from traditional relationship structures like marriage and cohabitation. British magazine The Economist highlighted this trend in a November 2020 cover story, referring to it as a recession in relationships. However, a new study by 20 Minutes Opinionway, published on February 13, 2021, reveals that 80% of French individuals aged 18 to 30 still view coupling as the ideal life. The survey also found that Gen Z approaches love with pragmatism, prioritizing communication and stability. Over a third of those surveyed define themselves as fluid in their relationships, reflecting evolving attitudes toward intimacy and partnership. Here is my take. The contrast between The Economist's gloomy narrative on the recession in relationships and the recent French study is striking. While some may see Gen Z as naive for still valuing love and coupling in an increasingly uncertain world, perhaps there's a more pragmatic shift at play. These young adults are not rejecting relationships outright but redefining what they expect from them, prioritizing communication, stability, and fluidity over societal norms. It's a generation that both individual freedom and the enduring ideal of partnership, proving that love remains relevant, even in an era of economic and social upheaval.
Amélie de Montchalin, currently the Minister of Public Accounts, has been appointed as the first president of the Court of Audit by President Emmanuel Macron. The appointment, set to take place on February 11 at the Council of Ministers, marks her transition from Bercy to this new role. This decision has sparked outrage among opposition members, who view it as a highly political move, especially given that Montchalin will now be tasked with evaluating a budget she helped shape. The controversy highlights the growing concentration of nomination power in the hands of the president, following similar moves, such as Richard Ferrand's appointment to the Constitutional Council last year. Here is my take. This appointment underscores a disturbing trend of centralization under Emmanuel Macron's presidency. Appointing someone who has directly contributed to shaping the budget she will now oversee blurs the lines between politics and justice. It's a bold play by Macron to consolidate power, reminiscent of Louis XIV's dictum, l'état, c'est moi. While Montchalin may be skilled, this move feels less about merit and more about control. The opposition is right to outrage. Such unilateral decisions risk eroding trust in France's institutions, and for what? To further concentrate authority in a single pair of hands?
This Friday, February 13, an avalanche occurred in the ski resort of Val d'Isère, located in Savoy, France. The tragic incident resulted in 3 fatalities. Authorities confirmed the details through BFM TV and France 3. The Director of Piste Management provided insights into the circumstances surrounding the avalanche, though specifics remain under investigation. Ski resorts are notorious for their unpredictable conditions, but such tragedies raise questions about safety measures and preparedness. Here is my take. The death of 3 individuals in Val d'Isère is a stark reminder of the inherent dangers in nature's playground. While avalanches are part of the mountain's beauty, they demand respect and stringent safety protocols. Questions linger: were the slopes properly managed? Could early warning systems have made a difference? The director's details may shed light, but this incident leaves a somber mark on what should be a season of joy and recreation. Safety must always come first, even in the pursuit of thrills.